art is quite useless, wrote Oscar Wilde in his preface, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It goes without saying that his bon mots are always quite tongue-in-cheek. But what I want to draw your attention to here is the word quite. It indicates that declaring art as utterly useless was a step too far, even for Wilde. How to better explain, then, that art is something of an unnecessary necessity? Imagine for a moment a world without art and culture, without music, without cinema, without dance, opera, literature, poetry. That world would be a very, very dull place, devoid of imagination, the one thing that distinguishes us as human beings from other species. Without art, the banality of reality would be intolerable. Or, to paraphrase Nietzsche, we have art in order not to perish from the truth. What I want to talk about today is the role of contemporary art in society. Why is art important? And I'm not talking here about the 1% of the art world, the handful of artists selling for millions of dollars to billionaire oligarchs, which is a very tiny minority of what constitutes the art world, but about the art that is engaged with society at large, and engaging also with the key issues that affect us all today, because that is the art that matters. Today, more and more artists are inspired by reality than by the formal properties of that reality as we know them, colors, shapes, beauty. In today's complex world, I believe that art for art's sake is insufficient. It is the importance of another kind of art that I would like to talk about, and this is what we call socially and politically engaged art. Artists working in this realm, the realm of the socio-political, use different media to express themselves, from traditional media like sculpture and painting to film, video, performance, and installation, to deal with key questions such as democracy, civil and human rights, capitalism, the economy, migration and mobility, the environment, and the commons, and a whole host of such issues. They strive to provide a counterpoint to the prevailing images of power and also to the stereotypes that are fed to us by the media. Since the time of the Enlightenment, art has a very long history of engagement with the political. Art is, in a sense, political, as it is about a person's views and freedom to act, freedom to express themselves. So art is always about taking a position. There have been moments in history where art was put to the service of politics and society in a program in which the gap between the two was temporarily bridged. One can immediately think of example of the Russian avant-garde. But this effect has been always very hard to pinpoint and to quantify, and times have changed. So that, what does art do? What can it do? And why is it important? The fact of the matter is that it is very, very difficult to pigeonhole and categorize what exactly art is and how it functions. That is its beauty, and that is its ungraspable value, for want of a better word. It is impossible to both quantify and qualify how art affects those who see it, because it works in mysterious, latent, and very subtle ways. That's why it's always such an uphill struggle to convince politicians of arts funding, to convince them that the value, that is, the importance, the significance, and the merit of art cannot be judged by popular consensus and numbers alone. And this is because art allows for something that cannot be defined. Therefore, one can never predict the ways in which it will affect people, change people's minds, or influence their subsequent behavior. As such, it's a subtle power that changes the world one perception at a time.